get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
Welcome to ArchRivals Football. Here is your starting lineup. Number 20, Darnell the Playmaker Sallins. Number 94, Alex the Bearman Kazzaz. Number 24, Ricky Litwinkowicz. This show is sponsored by Raz Energy, DreamControllers.com, and Steiner Sports. ArchRivals Football is a Pain Train Pipe Bomb production.
Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing on this Wednesday, October 6, 2021? Down at the Playmaker Sallins here along with my buddy Bearman, Texas. How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother D. What's going on?
So we couldn't go Monday thanks to Facebook having issues, so we had to move it to Wednesday.
Apparently there's still issues from what I understand,
And,
but that's no surprise.
and the funny thing is we speaking on issues, right?
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of issues in college football.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Week 5, ladies and gentlemen, we saw 8 top 25 teams take an L. We saw Georgia just destroy Arkansas in a top 10 showdown. Any thoughts on what Georgia did to Arkansas?
Not exactly, because it's no surprise. I did, but I guess the surprise was I thought Arkansas might put up a little bit of a fight, but yeah, nothing.
Same thing, Alabama and Nick Saban. They told Lane Kiffin, get the hell out of Tuscaloosa.
And he did, and, well.
They took a beating. That was not pretty. That's not what we expected. We expected a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama said no. Steve Wallman, thank you for joining us today. Go ahead and share this out. Let's get other people in here. You know, as I can tell you on, what you have to say about Cincinnati going to South Bend and doing what they did?
I mean, first things first, I gotta congratulate them. They go into it, and they were the road team, and they beat them 24-13. And based on how I'm seeing a bit of solid defense, 3 quarterbacks got in the game for Notre Dame. 3 quarterbacks. So, and both these quarterbacks, these completion attempts, like that, the ratio, not too convincing. It just really seems that, Cincinnati's just played so solid defense. But you know what they say? Solid, defense is what matters, right?
Yeah, shout out to them. And
I mean, I think it's become more clear this Cincinnati team may be the real deal after all.
And I have to sit here and talk about upsets because Stanford took down Oregon. That hurts the Pac-12. And not only that, Bear Man, there was a streak that was going on since 1986. And it came to an end on Saturday. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the Florida Gators took an L at Kentucky.
This was Kentucky's first win against the Florida Gators since 1986. That makes you think everything that's happened since 1986.
Florida has dominated at Lexington, Kentucky until now. Kentucky can reclaim their home. And by them reclaiming their home, they finally jumped into the rankings at 16. Just by knocking off Florida, who was ranked 10. Now we're down to 20. Stings. That one stings. But, streets come to an end, right?
They do, but I got to ask you, brother D, what happened to Florida? What exactly happened in this game that made them lose?
You want me to be honest?
I would well, let me say it like this. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Kentucky didn't make that stupid mistake that they usually make. You remember years ago, they was winning, but they forgot to cover the wide receiver?
I believe I know what you're talking about. But a lot of teams have made that mistake, not just Kentucky.
No, what I'm saying is Kentucky has been knocking on the door for a while. It took them 2 years ago to knock us off at home. Because guess what? They didn't make the stupid mistakes that they make.
Well, that means they learned from it.
They didn't make the stupid mistakes at home on Saturday. They won. Kentucky has been known to be right there in the game, and one mistake on defense cost them the game. How you forget to cover the receiver? Where's nobody over there? Like, Florida needs 2 yards for a touchdown, and nobody's over there. Like, how does that happen?
It really is a difficult week. Well, yeah, I mean, it really just seems like, and for Florida, that's 2 consecutive losses, right?
No,
it's not. Okay.
Lost to Alabama, came back and beat Tennessee, and we lost.
Oh, okay, all right, but still, now falling to a 3-2 record, it stings, like you said.
It hurts, but it is what it is. And the way Georgia look, it might be a third loss because them boys is just flying off on everywhere. And then that gives me to the rankings. Would you go ahead and put up my top 5 group of 5? Because I'm trying to remember correctly, Bear Man, but I don't recall ever seeing 2 group of 5 teams ranked in the top 10.
I think the new thing is you added to your top 5 group of 5, Brother D, is the SMU Mustangs.
I did. I will get to that in a minute. But Cincinnati's ranked 5th in the country now.
Yeah.
BYU's ranked 10th in the country now. When was the last time you heard 2 schools who was not in the Power 5 ranked in the top 10?
I mean, that's usually unheard of. But you know what? It's making an impact. I mean, this is something new. I mean, BYU is just, been tearing it up, just coming off that win against Utah State.
Are people finally starting to look at the group of 5 teams now with a real light on them now?
Well, they better, because I think at this point we're getting their attention now. I mean, it's not just us getting their attention; it's these teams pulling off these upset, playing dominant football. That's what's getting the attention, brother.
So yes, number 1 and number 2 on the list: Cincinnati, BYU. Number 3, Coastal Carolina, Stan. Coastal Carolina, all they do is win. I can't penalize them. All they do is win. San Diego State, all they do is win. And then I had to take Fresno State off because they got upset by Hawaii. And going through my list, going through my group of 5 teams, guess who I found out owns a victory over a Power 5 team?
Enlighten us, brother.
SMU in an overtime victory over TCU, and they didn't lose last week. That's how they jump into the top 5 group of 5. Fresno State exit. Here comes SMU. So that's my top 5 group of 5 for week 6. Cincinnati, BYU, Coastal Carolina, San Diego State, and SMU. Macy's in the chat. I'm so happy you're in the chat because, Bearman, if you look at our slate here,
we'll get to the Boomer Sooners.
If you look at the slate for week 6, you got 2 games on Friday night that I am interested in. Temple is going to the 5th ranked team, Cincinnati, at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on ESPN.
Oh, yes.
I want to see how Cincinnati plays coming off a big whirlwind at Notre Dame and playing against a Temple team who's really only 3-1 right now.
Well, I would only hope Cincinnati builds on the win, because we've seen many times when a team pulls off an upset, they fail to build on it, and it's because they decide to get arrogant and cocky. And it's a lesson that never seems to be learned, because some teams keep making that mistake. Is if you decide to get arrogant, you get distracted, and then you go from pulling off the upset to you suffering the upset, and that's pretty humiliating. That's a momentum killer, my friend. That can destroy your season in a heartbeat.
And we're talking group of 5 here, so Cincinnati cannot lose a game.
Oh, no.
And then, look, we have some Pac-12 action on a Friday night. Stanford, who coming off the upset over Oregon, they traveled to Arizona State, who coming off an upset of UCLA last week. 10:30 after the Cincinnati Temple game.
I mean, what can we say about this Arizona State team? I mean, looking at they're 4-1. Their only loss this season is to BYU, and BYU is pretty freaking good. And UCLA, and that's what I was talking about. UCLA, didn't UCLA pull off an upset when they beat LSU?
Mm-hmm.
And UCLA didn't really build on that. That's what I'm talking about. So, and
they took one on the chin to BYU, and they took another one on the chin to Arizona State.
Now, this game between Arizona State and UCLA, it was a pretty good second half, especially the second quarter, because a total of 41 points were scored in the second quarter. But in the second half, the UCLA Bruins were shut out, and they were outscored 18-0 to be precise.
Shout out to Kurt Herm Edwards for that. Good job. And then we get to Saturday. First game on the docket. I'm going to give that to you, Bearman, because I'm pretty sure you know more about this rivalry.
Well, the Red River rivalry, one of the most fiercest and classic rivalries in all of college football. The Oklahoma Sooners against the Texas Longhorns, Cotton Bowl, Dallas, Texas. I've been there many times, and I'll never forget when I went to the game in 2008 when the Texas Longhorns beat the number 1 Sooners 45-35. It was a fun night. Well, fun afternoon, I should say. Yeah, these guys, I always have to remind people, this game is a morning game. It's an 11 a.m. game, so it's not an evening game. But the last 3 years, I mean, I would say the last 10 years or so, it's been Oklahoma dominance over UT because UT has really been relevant in the last 10 years. But going to this game, obviously Oklahoma's the favorite, and I would definitely say they have a better shot of winning because Texas really kind of crumbles under that pressure. Although we can't take Texas's win against TCU as lucky. I mean, Texas had to fight for that, but Texas comes in, on that side, as number 21, while Oklahoma is still number 6. So if Texas has a chance of winning, they need to run the ball effectively, and if it works out well, just keep doing it. And the defense is just going to have to find a way to contain that power offense of Oklahoma. But Oklahoma, let's not forget that game against West Virginia. And I'm looking at Oklahoma's last 2 games. They allowed 31 points against Kansas State on the road. They beat Kansas State, who was unranked, 37-31. So the OU Sooners have some weaknesses. So it's up to the Longhorns to take advantage of that. If they can control, they can beat the Sooners. I mean, the Sooners have beaten the Longhorns for 3 year times in a row. Okay, even though the Longhorns are ahead of the overall series, they lead the series, I think, with 62 wins. So technically, Texas is still the better team. They always will be, no matter what. But this game, I mean, Oklahoma's definitely the favorite, but I feel like this game could go either way, but it's going to be a hell of a game.
Okay. Now, before I get into my usual thing that I do, Bearman, I'm pretty sure you've been waiting on everybody's going. Let me ask you a question.
All right.
Are you a conference guy?
Like, am I a fan of the Big 12 or the SEC?
Yes. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You're not a conference guy.
I'm more of a, well, let me say it like this. I grew up loving the Longhorns and the Horned Frogs. But in 2011, when I took my first journalism course, when I started really leaning towards being objective, not taking a side, not exactly being the status of diehard fan, like I said those things about Oklahoma, they are good. I mean, for a brief moment, I kind of went in Texas Longhorns fan mode when I said Texas is the better team, but it's like that. I just enjoy the game, especially at this point, because when you're objective, it gives you the blessing of just enjoying the game without being forced to take a side. You can actually enjoy it without being stressed. But there's still some frustrations every now and then because of the outcomes of games. But to answer your question, I was never really a conference guy. Like, even when I was growing up, loving both TCU and UT, I was more of a guy that loved the game overall because I would watch other games like Ohio State, Michigan. I would watch those classic rivalries because I always found them interesting. So to answer your question, I just enjoyed the game.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. So now, let me get into what I need to get into. Go ahead and buckle up. Missy still in the chat? Yep, she is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just upset. I'm pretty sure she didn't really take kindly to my words.
Oh, she ain't take kindly, or she ain't gonna take kindly to mine. Missy? Hold on. What was the score against Oklahoma and West Virginia?
It was 16-13.
What was the score against Kansas State?
37-31. That's what I was talking about. Like,
How did they look against Tulsa to open the season?
Oh, is that for me? Is that for Missy?
I'm just throwing it out there. For those who don't remember, Tulsa actually only lost by, I think, like 4 points. And they had the lead. Missy? You love your Sooners.
Yeah, it was 40. It was Tulane, actually. It was not Tulsa. Tulane? It was Tulane.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, it's all right, brother.
When you say Oklahoma, what do you think of?
Dominance, victories, tradition, Heisman Trophy winners.
How many of those words you said fits this Oklahoma team right now?
Wait, say that again?
The words that you just used to describe Oklahoma, which one of them fit this team right now? It ain't dominance.
Nope.
They got the victories.
Yeah, they got the wins. Yeah, so they're still winning games, but
they don't look like the traditional Oklahoma team that you used to.
Nope. Well, sometimes they do get regressed, but yeah, I mean, Oklahoma's kind of fallen a little bit, but Texas is in the worst situation, not Oklahoma.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spencer Rattler came into this season as the Heisman favorite. Does he look like a Heisman favorite?
Last 2 games, I would say no. It's like there's a little reversal. Bijan Robinson, the Texas running back's been kind of really now all of a sudden people are saying he's a worthy Heisman contender.
Here's the problem. You got past Kansas State. Texas got past TCU. You know what the Big 12 is thinking right now? Because as you said it, your team is up and down, right?
Longhorns, yeah.
You don't know what Longhorns gonna come out.
I mean, like I said, all these fans I grew up with, they're already doing the trash talking about the Sooners. I'm like, guys, the Sooners have whipped the Longhorns' ass for so many years. Okay, there's no room to trash talk for Texas fans. I mean, what do we have? I mean, yeah, we've won a couple of bowl games, but you know what? OU would go to the playoffs. So, I mean, OU still has been the better team, even though Longhorns lead the overall series. But, you know,
if Texas wins this game, the Big 12 is in trouble. You know why?
Why?
Boy, Texas up and down. OU is basically the only team that they got left for the playoffs. And OU looks terrible.
Yeah,
they winning, but they look terrible.
Yeah, I've got the all-time series of the Red River rivalry. Texas leads 62 wins. Yeah, it's basically the record is 62 and 49 and 5.
Oh, trust me, Texas used to whoop on Oklahoma for quite a bit.
I remember those days. I remember the year that Longhorns won the championship. I remember when Vince Young just decimated the Sooners.
Do I need to throw Colt McCoy in there too?
Well, I don't remember Colt McCoy exactly destroying them, but I do remember going to a game back in 2008 when Sam Bradford was the quarterback for the Sooners. Colt McCoy was there. There was Brian Arakpo. I mean, all these players. I believe DeMarco Murray was there. Ryan Broyles, Jermaine Gresham. I mean,
how many times is Oklahoma going to squeak by? You got Texas this week. You know you got Baylor coming up. You got Oklahoma State coming up. That's another rivalry. Bedlam at the end of the year. How many times is Oklahoma going to play around and before they actually realize y'all going to lose the season because y'all playing around? You see Cincinnati? They rank 5.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, Georgia, they look unbeatable. That's 3 teams right there, right?
Yeah.
There's one spot left. One spot left open, right? It's OU's for the taking, but OU keep playing around. It ain't gonna be for the taking.
Well, I don't expect OU to play around this week. I mean, they're playing the freaking Longhorns, and they've defeated the Longhorns 3 times in a row. That started out with the Big 12 championship 3 years ago. That was during Kyler Murray's senior year.
And right now you have about 4 Big 10 teams hovering around that 4 area.
Just about. I mean, Georgia's obviously leading the chase, and you got Alabama number 1.
Me see yo Sooners, they better step it up this week. Rivalry game. You better remind the world why OU was picked favorite to make the playoffs, because y'all don't look like it. You know what I call this week, Bear Man?
What?
I should have said it before I started. You know, I call this week put up a shut-up time.
Yeah, especially for Oklahoma, but I really expect Oklahoma to come into this game fully prepared, and Oklahoma's the favorite, and I have a feeling they're going to prove why. I mean, the Longhorns will probably put up a fight. The Longhorns might put up a respectable fight. It might be one of those games where both teams fought, but only one team comes out on top, and obviously OU is more than likely to do it. It's a game that can go either way. I mean, again, the Longhorns running game, you can't count that out.
And
but the Longhorns
game,
defense, but the Longhorns defense it's average at best.
Casey Thompson. I see why you said he should have been a starter.
Yeah.
Because it was hard for TCU to get off the field because he was making plays.
He was. I mean, especially in the running game. But Casey Thompson did struggle against the Horned Frogs.
He struggled, but when you needed it most, what did he do?
He pulled through. He did. I watched that game.
So if Casey Thompson outdues Spencer Rattler, we know how this game's gonna go.
And if that happens, Spencer Rattler is going to be booed out of the freaking building.
So remember, I said this. If Casey Thompson outduels Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma's in trouble.
Oh,
I did mention the Big Ten, right?
you did.
The Maryland Terrapins, 1 loss on the season. They are at number 7, Ohio State Buckeyes.
And Maryland just got clobbered by Iowa, didn't they? 51-14, I think.
Battle of unbeatens, remember?
Yes, sir. And I actually had the freaking gall to say that Maryland was actually going to fight at first, but boy, was I wrong. I mean, I did say Maryland would actually fight, didn't I?
I told you about defenses, right?
You did?
You did see the number 1 defense in the country, right?
We did.
Yeah.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
ain't sugarcoating nothing. I ain't sugarcoating nothing.
That defense of Iowa is something special here, okay? But we'll get to them because they got a big game coming up. But we talking Maryland and Ohio State. Ohio State still struggling, but winning, looking like Oklahoma. Except they pull away late. They pull away late.
Buckeye fans are gonna hate you for saying that, but who cares?
Hey,
it's the truth.
Y'all lost to Oregon. Y'all lost to Oregon at home. I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah, like I said, you're not lying. So sometimes the truth hurts, right?
Mm-hmm. Tua's brother found out why Iowa is Iowa. Now you got to shake that loss off, and you got to go to the horseshoe now. I hate saying this because I don't like Ohio State, but one thing about Ohio State, they know how to bounce back from getting punched in the mouth.
Oh, ain't that an understatement?
So if Maryland wants to pull up the upset, you're going to have to play damn near a perfect game for a whole 60 minutes.
Oh, big time. But let's be real here, Brother D. I mean, Ohio State's going to take care of business. They might have some struggles, but I just can't see the Buckeyes losing this one.
We shall see. Let's see what Tua's brother do against the Buckeyes.
I mean, he had five interceptions against Iowa. I mean, like you said, it's the defense, right?
All right. We're not going to confuse the Buckeyes defense for Iowa's defense.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's not. Good point. Let's not.
But let's just see. Can you bounce back from that? That's a bad. And it was at home, too. It wasn't even on the road. It was at home. They went in your building and made you throw 5 interceptions.
Yeah, on your turf.
That's not bad.
That's bad. That is really bad.
That's big thing. Because that 12 o'clock slate is like ridiculous. Because we have one more. And it's the two teams who we talked about who got roasted last week by number 1 and number 2. They play each other. 13 ranked Arkansas at 17 ranked Ole Miss. So who took the loss personally is this type of game here.
Oh, big time.
Arkansas, you walked into Athens, Georgia, over the hedges, and the Bulldogs treated y'all like y'all were sausages.
Well, you know what I'm surprised right now is that Arkansas is ranked the same as they were last week.
No, that was ranked in the top 10. That was ranked in the top 10. That was the top 10.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I always forget that on Google that they don't change from what last week. They just okay. Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Which is amazing to me because they the ones that got shut out, not Ole Miss. Ole Miss got beat by number 1. Ole Miss got beat by number 1 at Tuscaloosa, but they scored points. Arkansas went to Georgia, couldn't even put up a damn point, and they ranked ahead of Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's why I'm starting to really scratch my head with these rankings. Like, yeah, something's going on. Something's not right.
Which team took their loss personally and wants to punch the other team in the mouth? Because Arkansas thought they were physical until they ran into Georgia, and they found out what physicality really is.
Oh, big time. Well, Mr. Waldman asking Ole Miss with the upset. Well, Steven, to be honest with you, I would have to say, yeah, I think Mississippi's gotta have the advantage. I mean, it is at home, okay, and like Playmaker just mentioned, even though Ole Miss got their butts kicked, they did put up 21 points. So, I mean, you look at the score, they lost 42-21. I mean, yeah, they allowed 20 points, but they scored 21 points. So there was still a couple of things to feel good about, but you described it the best way. Like who wants to like make the bigger point? I think the Ole Miss Rebels are going to make that point.
And you have Lane Kiffin, who probably is taking that loss even worse to Alabama because he couldn't do a goddamn thing to that Alabama offense or defense. Nick Saban came with a game plan and he had perfected it on Lane Kiffin.
Big time. But I kind of feel like this game could be like a little. It could be an interesting game. I mean, some might say because Ole Miss is just that frustrated that they're gonna take it out on the Razorbacks and probably have a blowout. But if Arkansas can score some points, it would be good for them. But I feel like this game, maybe the first half could be competitive, but I have a feeling this game is going to be second half material. And what I mean by second half material is that only one team's going to dominate the second half. But,
all right,
but we'll see.
That's a hell of a 12. That's your 12 o'clock slate. That's a hell of a 12 o'clock slate. You see that, right?
Oh yeah.
And the slate only gets even better once you get to the afternoon time.
I mean, good reason to get up early, right? Especially on a Saturday.
Check this out. So when you get to the 3 o'clock games, the 3:30 windows, look at this. Number 2, Georgia, who we just talked about, who shut out Arkansas. They go over the plains. It's War Eagle and the Auburn Tigers.
Well, Auburn just beat, I believe they beat LSU on the road in Death Valley, didn't they?
They went to Death Valley at night and knocked off them Tigers.
24-19.
Go Tigers, Coach O. This rivalry here. These two, it's like when these two get together, something crazy always happens.
These SEC rivalries, there's just something with them. I mean, there's just something magical. Like you just don't know what's gonna happen. You can't predict it. At least I can't. Maybe at least I can't. Maybe Kirk Herbstreit probably could, but me, no chance.
Do we go to the Hail Mary or Georgia winning on the Hail Mary? do we go to Auburn just beating the secondary deep down the field when the ricochet off 2 Georgia Bulldogs? He caught it and took it to the house. I mean, what can we expect from this game? I will tell you this though. Bo Nix, you at home. This number 2 team right here is punching everybody in their damn mouth. You don't believe me?
Time. Oh yeah.
Ask Clemson. What have Clemson been since?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
you can talk about what they did to Arkansas.
Ask Vanderbilt of all teams.
They ain't even get to my Gators yet. That's coming late this month.
Oh boy. I'm sure you're not looking forward to that.
Georgia is punching people in the mouth. Kirby Smart has this defense beating up offenses. And you know how they beating up offenses? Perfect tackling. Rally into the ball. Not getting called for targeting. That was one issue I did have with the Texas TCU game, but I decided to leave it alone. Could that actually change the momentum to Texas' favor, if I'm being honest? They are smashing offenses. Man, the offense is sitting there like, well, eventually we're going to pick it up. And then they start dropping points on you. So while your offense is getting beaten up, your defense is getting worn out. And then next thing you know, Georgia already put up 28 points. You're down a 28 hole right now. So, Bo Nix, you better be on your P's and Q's. You at home. So there's no crowd disadvantage for you. Last time you played a Georgia team, you got taken out because you were struggling to Georgia State. Do I need to say that again for the people in the back?
I think you should.
Georgia State gave Auburn a run for their money at Auburn. Now you have the king of Georgia coming in. What you gonna do, Auburn? What you gonna do, Bo Nix? Because the most physical and complete team in this college football right now, and I hate saying it, but you know me, you know I tell it like it is. It's the damn Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh yeah.
So Auburn, you want to get yourself back into recognition? You better show up for this game, or else Georgia gonna run through you like they did Arkansas, and everybody in SEC really gonna be scared.
Well, I think everybody should be scared of the Georgia Bulldogs, but you know what? You got to do something about it, bro. If you got the guts, you step on the gridiron, you put up a fight.
And you know how I like my group of 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
3:30 at the same time on ABC. Actually, it's gonna be televised. We got a group of 5 game gonna be televised on national TV. It's Boise State at BYU. Boise State only loss was the UCF opening week. We covered that, remember?
We did.
Now, Boise State versus BYU. BYU's ranked 10th in the country. I think this is the highest BYU ranked in a long behind time.
At least 10 years.
Number 10 in the country. How does BYU handle this pressure ranking? You're ranked in the top 10. You're being put on national television. You on ABC. That means everybody's watching. And Boise State's coming in. Can the Cougars handle it?
Oh, no doubt in my mind, BYU's taking care of business at home. BYU's 5-0. Boise State is 2-3. Boise State's coming off a home loss to Nevada. Although on September 25th, Boise State did beat Utah State 27-3 on the road. And let's not forget, Boise State only lost to Oklahoma State, who was ranked. I'm not sure what they were ranked at the time, but they only lost to Oklahoma State by 1 point. So
we know Boise State. We're not going to see people like you and me. We don't act like Boise. We say Boise State and that's a win. We know how Boise State is. You mess around with Boise State if you want to, and they would catch you slipping.
I mean, it is a bit difficult for me to compliment BYU because, again, I grew up, loving TCU, and when I was growing up, TCU and BYU were fierce rivals. As a matter of fact, I actually went to the final game that was played between the two teams.
I'm looking forward to this game. I want to see how BYU handles the spotlight.
Oh, big time.
That's a game to watch. That's really a game to watch. For my ACC fan, you watch your Georgia and you watch your Auburn game. You watch that. But for those who just want to look at some good games, check out Boise State and BYU. Look how Boise State plays the game of football.
Time.
And we're not done with that slate,
Oh, no.
I know Ricky's back there listening, and one thing I know about Ricky, he likes good football, right?
Huh.
He wants to see some defenses, right?
That's exactly what he wants. And this particular game, Playmaker, I think Ricky is gonna get his freaking wish.
We talking Big Ten country. We talking game of the week. The fact that I say game of the week.
This game's gotta be.
Is Steve Waldman still in the chat?
Oh, Mr. Waldman's definitely in the chat.
Can Steve do me a favor real quick? Can you go find out where college game day is going to be at Saturday? Because if I recall, I don't think it's at Penn State in Iowa, which is a top 5 matchup. Can you do that for me real quick, Steve Waldman? I need to make sure where is college game day going to be at on Saturday. Oh,
yeah, usually is like during Red River Rivalry. I think more often than not they have it there.
Oh, you in Texas where they at, right? But if I remember correctly, ain't college game day supposed to be at the games that mean the most? You have a top 5 showdown. between Penn State and Iowa, and you skip that game to go to the Red River Showdown? No, we're not disrespecting the Red River Showdown, but we looking at it like there's a better matchup.
Well,
Am I wrong?
The Red River Showdown dates back to the year 1900.
I know that, but we have a better matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be
We
honest.
have a more significant matchup.
I mean, yeah, this game in Penn State and Iowa is definitely, I would say it's definitely got a bit better potential than the Red River game, especially because of how Oklahoma is right now. But, again, Texas still has issues. So, yeah, you're right. This has to be game of the week. I mean, battle of the, number 4 and the number 3, okay? And both teams are 5-0. I mean, one team's is not going to be undefeated anymore. One team's going to suffer.
They did this. They did this earlier this year, right? Game they did this earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Where I need to go? Let me look at because I wrote every game that I should put on the slate. I wrote it down in my notebook, right? So, this is what they did. So go back to week 3, right? You know what college game they was at in week 3?
Where?
Auburn and Penn State. We talking 22 versus 10. That's the same week Alabama came to Florida. Why are you not at the Swamp with number 1 in town versus number 11? And we know about that rivalry.
We do.
But we're going to go to Auburn and Penn State. You know why? It's whiteout. It's Auburn's first trip to Penn State. But we supposed to be doing the best matchup, right?
Oh, yeah.
Penn State and Iowa. You want to see some defenses? This is your game.
Well, this is it.
You want to see some offense who, when the press is on them, they make the plays? This is the game for you.
This is the game.
Ricky, I know you hear me. This is your game right here to watch. That is 4:00. So while y'all doing ArchRivals, you can keep eye on the game. That's the game to watch. Number 1 defense in the country, Iowa Hawkeyes versus, we all know about Penn State. Penn State play good defense. They have a good offense. You want us to beat you running? We'll do it. You want us to beat you passing? We'll do it. That's Penn State. Am I right?
That's Penn State for you.
But Iowa, we just talked about what Iowa did to Maryland.
Yeah, obliterated them.
Now number 4. And matter of fact, I was watching ESPN. They was going through the history of Iowa and Penn State games. They are known for having these close, dramatic games, right?
Oh, yes.
Saquon Barkley made his name known against Iowa, getting them to a victory at Iowa. We talk about Iowa upsetting Penn State at Iowa. Penn State avoiding an upset at Iowa on the last second game-winning touchdown. Oh, this is your game. I do not expect nobody to get blown out. I expect this game to go down to the wire. And whoever has the ball last is going to win the game. And that brings us to the final game of the week. The primetime game. We got to have a primetime game.
Oh, yes.
Got to have a primetime game. Number 14 Notre Dame coming off that loss to Cincinnati. Now they got to go to Blacksburg to take on Virginia Tech. I'm going to say this. Most of us don't like Notre Dame because their name gets them into favorable positions, right?
Oh, yeah.
When they really don't,
honestly.
When they don't deserve it, and we know they don't deserve it. Right.
Notre Dame is not happy. If anything, this is their game. I mean, Virginia Tech, I'm looking at their schedule. They're coming off a 21-10 win against the University of Richmond. They lost to West Virginia long ago, 27-21. They beat Middle Tennessee 35-14, and they beat North Carolina 17-10. So
North Carolina was ranked.
North Carolina was ranked, so that's the only win. But since then, Virginia Tech, it's not been too convincing. But
It's not. But let me remind you of something about Virginia Tech. How many teams can walk into Blacksburg and walk out victorious?
how many?
Ohio State escaped 1 year. Notre Dame escaped 1 year. Matter of fact, Notre Dame got caught another year. You just don't walk into Blacksburg at prime time and just walk out with a victory.
Nope. There's the key word. You got to escape.
You come off a loss at home to Cincinnati. You better be mad as all I get to. But guess what? You're going to Blacksburg on prime time. These boys are going to be ready. They're going to be rocking, and they're ready to fight. You know how we treat Death Valley for LSU? It's the same way you can treat Blacksburg for Virginia Tech.
Oh, yes.
Blacksburg at night. Woo. Prepare for a fight.
Woo!
Because it's going to be a fight. Notre Dame might pull away late. They might pull away late. Notice I said late. But they're going to be in the fight. They going to know. Matter of fact, I bet some of them players are still up.
It's going to be an escape. It's an escape.
They're going to hate going back there because I'm pretty sure they're like, damn, I got to go back to that damn place. It was hard the last time we was there.
Yeah, so that'll cause a little bit of stress. But that might frustrate them even more. But, you could say it more clear. I mean, you ain't going there and then just run away with it. It ain't happening, son. It ain't happening. Ain't happening. Mark my words, boy.
So there you have it. That's a hell of a slate.
Hell of a slate.
These games getting more and more better each week. This is going. And we're getting closer and closer to the playoff rankings coming out. I can't wait to see the first playoff rankings. I really can't.
Well, we are at the point of the college football season, Darnell, where now things are serious. These non-conference games, you don't see anymore. Every team, it's from now on, it's big. Big Texas, it's Big 12 games. It's same thing with the SEC teams. There's no more non-conference games. No more fun in games. It's now serious. Now it's where it truly matters, and every week it gets more and more serious. So for Texas, you better keep winning.
That's all you want to say to your Longhorns?
Keep winning, but win convincingly.
If Missy was on here, I would let her speak for her soon, but she's not. Spencer Rattler, OU. I think it's time for y'all to show what y'all mean. Because if you don't, the Longhorns going to catch you. Because I think they are thirsty for a win over you. So you might have to punch Texas in their mouth to let the world know we still here.
The Longhorns would love to dominate the rivalry for the upcoming decade. Because the Sooners dominated the last 10 years. Now the Longhorns want to reverse the tides. So for Longhorns, I would say, are you tired of Oklahoma dominating? Well, you know what? Do something about it. Beat them.
Cincinnati, how you going to handle being ranked in the top 5? BYU, how you going to handle being ranked in the top 10 with the spotlight on you now? Iowa and Penn State. Y'all just do what y'all do. Because that's the best game of the week.
Best day of the week.
That's all I got. Any parting words, Bearman?
Nope. But you know what? It's going to be a hell of a week. And when we do ArchRivals, I will have my eye on that game. Believe me.
That will do it for me. I'll get back with y'all next week for more college football. Ricky and Knowledge, they'll be back Saturday for more ArchRivals football. And I wasn't on yesterday. But for those of you who are wondering, at some point, my Rams going to have to win that Seattle in prime time. And I think it's tomorrow. Just for the record.
Well, if you heard what I had to say about that game, I think you could say I did a good job.
So, we took an ass whooping to Arizona. We'll bounce back. I ain't worried. I had a 3-1 after 4 games anyway.
You did. No doubt.
It is what it is.
It
For
is
my
what it is.
Gators, do what y'all need to do against Vanderbilt. Just do what you need to do against Vanderbilt. All right. That's Bear Man. I'm the Playmaker. Ricky in the background producing. We'll see y'all later.
Peace out, everybody.
Hey, did you like that show? Like, share, follow, subscribe. Share out our shows to all of your social media. Need merchandise? Check out paintrainpipebomb.threadless.com for quality merchandise at great prices. Tune in next time for another edition of ArchRivals Football, and we'll catch you on the flip side.